accuracies were as high as 0.99, but we felt that when logistic and neural nets both are given a high accuracy, logistics might be a good option because it is traditional ML which will take less computing power and it's easy to use.
Just give us a minute, it might take a minute to load. Meanwhile, we'll show you the data set.
This is the data set which does not have any class values in the target element.
That's the raw data set as it is. This drops in context and no transformations happen on that data set. And yeah, we just uploading that. So this is the demo that we've created. We actually deployed the machine learning model along with the pipelines that we created for transformation on the web. So we just wanted to create a real life scenario where, let's say, an employee from the tax SSB department who wants to just look at the classification of properties. They can just upload this raw data set that they have. For example, the one that we just showed you, and they can use. They simply have to select that file and they need to click on predict classes. And simply click on predict classes and it will give you a downloadable file. And if you go all the way to the end, so you can see there's another button. Yeah. So that is the predicted classes. I mean, that's the results that our model has given. So this is like this is of course out of the scope of the project, and yet we just want to see how we can actually deploy the model into production and just create a simple use case for this. And it's been working pretty good because we've cross-verified with the test data set that we already had, and it's been performing really well. And just move on to the discussion. We'll just discuss a few limitations because even though we have achieved today accuracy and precision, that it won't make our model foolproof. We have so many limitations that we need to address, and one of which is like class imbalance. That plays a huge part because most of the data is belongs to class 2, which has almost like 600,000 rows. So because of class imbalance, the model can skew a little. So we need to have generalizable, want data with all kinds of, it's representing all the classes equally. So that way, that's one of the limitations. And the other one is that this model, it is like, since let's say this model, if it actually comes into production, government officials will be using this. So it is like a black box. We cannot explain a consumer, or let's just say a homeowner, what's actually happening inside that. So that might become a problem, which we cannot do because we're not domain experts on that. And then there's another one is that it hugely relies on public data. So whoever is collecting this data, they have to be mindful about the machine learning algorithms and the future stuff, because we've seen a couple of cases. We wanted to try this model in other counties on their data, and when we actually checked out that data, it's not good. So whoever is collecting the data, they can do a better job. Only then this model will be able to perform. And there are some other external factors like policies and exemptions, which you cannot really, at least in this model, you cannot include put the exemptions or policy changes that might happen in this field. And those are the limitations that have come up. And to conclude, I think this is a very good model, a very generalized model, given the limited data set. And it'll just take away so much time and effort that has been put into predicting the classes of properties. And it has a lot of potential to save time, money, and resources. And of course, it can be generalized across all counties. So yeah, that's our problem.
Good job. When you're talking about fixing somebody, because you know these days what's happening in the progress for the tax, from property tax. Basically, the counties, they send the homeowners the property tax for each year, and basically homeowners, they come and protest because it's here value of the house at 14K, right? So honestly, if you have that entrepreneurship mindset, come about it. I can get you to the right, because here's the thing. So the model is becoming generic. We need to basically ingest all the variables there, because generic is not enough. It has to be generic and specific, because each county, each city is different. For example, Denton County, if the houses in Denton is different than Louisville, different than Corinth, right? If you're thinking about it, this is because here's the thing, you know what they do these days? I mean, this is what I did last night. I went to ChatGPT and I get ChatGPT everything I need to test, right? And ChatGPT gave me the message here. I said, hey, make it more emotional. I need the person who's reading it to cry. And he said, okay, no, this is not right. So I think this is not right. I mean, I submitted that because it's not scientific, right? I mean, some of the CPAs, they do some analysis for the housing, right, around it, the pricing, don't go to the political side, because we have to, if you are able to adjust the political side, the inflation thing, right, you can, if you want to take it to the next level, talk to me. I think this is the time, because you know how things happen, the house pricing, taxes, and everything. And if you are able to deploy a model, it's basically it's a yes and no model. Like if the homeowner comes and you are able to do something for them,